Well, I thought for a change I'd bring you out on an early morning hike with me. Where is he? Can you see him? No, where is he? Hold on. Okay. Where are you, boy? Well, there he is. Peyote. We're in the Santa Fe hills, just behind Santa Fe itself, heading up in the Hyde Park Road kind of way, on the way towards Ski Basin, the ski mountain, I mean. Just out hiking, kind of 6:30 before the sun comes up. Just getting a bit of space, emptiness, beauty, atmosphere. It's so wonderful up here. So this is the first. I'm going to try and make a series of regular videos, live, off the cuff, see what happens. Maybe some poetry sometimes, maybe some insight. I did say I'd talk about the days in the 90s when I walked into the Spirit Horse nomadic camp in Wales, in England, at the beginning of, maybe not the beginning, but certainly a pivotal time for me in my... Oh, hold on. Come here.
Hi.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Come on out the way, man. A pivotal time for me in my transformation, where I walked in, unbeknownst to me, into a 2-year journey of fire, sweat, tears, sorrow, grief, joy, ceremony, stories, music, poetry of the soul. I mean, I can't begin to explain to you what happened to me in those 2 years. It was ragged. Some of it wasn't pretty. Some of it was absolutely beautiful. And I did dive into that invitation. And I swear that was the beginning of the unraveling for me. It wasn't the end of it, but it certainly cracked open something that really, really needed to crack open. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. I don't know who to the person who invited, who cajoled and said, you've got to go to this place, you've got to go there. And the first year we didn't go, and the second year we did go. I wasn't with Amoda, my wife then. I was with a fine woman, Welsh woman called Susan Jones, who loved me and I loved her. We loved each other out of our dysfunctionality. We were still quite crazy. I was very crazy in those days, very messed up. But this woman, Deborah Gordon, invited us, said, you've got to go to Spirit Horse, something will happen to you there. And we walked in, drove like 150 miles from London out to the wilds of Wales, into the mysterious valley, drove in, and then even that first day was an extreme challenge to me. And I'll tell you the story. I will tell you the story of what happened when we split up. We were going to a sacred ceremony over 5 days called Sacred Man, Sacred Woman. I had no idea. And we split up into two camps, the men's camp, the men's lodge, and the women's lodge. And in that first encounter with the great man, Shivam O'Brien, his name was, and still is, and he still runs those experiences. He still runs that spirit horse. He doesn't call it a nomadic circle anymore, a spirit horse camp. And then he challenged me. And on that first day, oh my God, did he challenge me. And I nearly walked out, but I had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to run to, so I had to stay. I'll tell you that story I would call it, from humiliation to humility. It broke something open. He knew. He was a grand teacher. He was a visionary, a triple Aries fire sign, Irish, Celtic storytelling mythologist who was steeped in Nisargadatta and Rumi and the American Indian tradition, but had his own fire, a fire of reclaiming what is true, what is natural. I mean, I cannot begin to tell you just how fiery, deep, shamanic, mysterious he was and still is. I think he's tempered a little bit, as age has matured him and settled him a bit. My God, in 1995, he was a fire. Anyway, I'll tell you those stories. I'll tell you that story sometime. For now, let me show you this. Let me show you what it looks like here. I hope you can see this. Hey, Peyote. Wait up. He's there somewhere. No, I don't know whether you can see the view. Really is quite something. Los Alamos is over there somewhere in the distance. The San Crista Mountains, some of Santa Fe. What a beautiful place this is, man. Wow. So yes, I'm planning on trying to do videos live. I've got my other videos. I just want to give. I just want to give of myself and share. I'm 65 years old. I made it this far. I've been through hell and high water to get here. I've been through illness. I've been through addiction. I've been through dysfunctionality. I've been through, I wouldn't call it trauma, but I've been close. I certainly carried the wounds of an extreme toxic family. I've carried that meltdown that happened in the 70s that cast me out into the wilderness and cast the whole family out into the wilderness. A sort of breakdown that you don't really want to, have to deal with. And I carried that with me for a long time, and I've gotten through that. But I got through that with a lot of toxic hedonist behavior, lifestyle pattern, and burying myself in neediness of women and needing to be looked after and stuff like that. And then after all these years, it's all come undone and rendered me into this kind of openness, of teaching with Amodama, who's my great inspiration and teacher. She's a vast being, and I think the world should listen to her personally and take notice of her. I think she's an extraordinary, exquisite woman, and a teacher of depth and grace. And her time will come, for sure. And it's beautiful. So I teach with her, and I serve her. I serve love in the, where are you? I serve love in the best way that I can. And then I write these ridiculous poems that I put out, like 8 poems a day of varying degrees of shortness and length on X and on Facebook and around and about. But they sort of inspired me to keep going. Just keep going. Don't look at the destination, because the destination is known. We're all heading to the same destination called oblivion, called oneness, called union, called the end of this experience and the beginning of something more vast, more unknown. But while I'm here, while we're here, I want to offer beauty. I want to offer love. I want to offer any insight that I've gathered over the 65 long years of my life, and to share that with you with no particular agenda, with no particular aim, apart from to, facilitate your opening, if that should appeal to you, to offer you a spark of life, a spark of light in the darkness. We live in dark times in some ways, but the dawn is maybe arising within each of us, and maybe it's time. And so if my poetry ignites a little flame in you, or a big fire, or it opens your heart a bit, or it makes you say, what am I doing? Who am I? Where am I going? What am I serving? Am I serving love, or am I serving some other thing? Am I distracted by the machinations and craziness of the world? Is it consuming all of my energy? All of my energy. And then what is left for me? What is there left for me? Then if I'm serving that, and I can serve that in some kind of way, then all is well. And I've done something. I've sort of done something useful, if there is such a thing. And I do all this in honor only of love, in honor of beauty, in honor of the beauty. One thing I learned from the crazy shamanic guy, Shivam O'Brien, is that inside all this that we are is an infinite beauty, the beauty of the invisible realm. I don't know what it is. I think it's natural intelligence that grows all things, the natural intelligence that moves, that evolves. And I honor that, and I don't make a meal of it. I'm not trying to do anything. I don't care about that sort of thing. I'm just saying there's more. These trees, this life, this earth, this planet, this body, these dogs, these creatures, this, the whole thing is imbued with a kind of beauty that we can't see, and we can barely feel it. We're so distracted, and yet it's there inside all things. Wow, isn't that amazing? And if you can just touch it for a minute, for a moment, see, it's there in the quietness, in the stillness, inside all things. I guess that's love. I guess that's love, guys. In fact, I know it's love. I know I didn't have to be convinced of that, because I touched it, I felt it, and now I kind of live in it. Ordinarily, naturally, exquisitely beautiful. And so that's my ramblings. I'll make of this what I can. I am to offer one tiny drop of beauty to this fragile world and these fragile hearts. To offer just one drop. Isn't that enough? What more is there? Let everybody else, let all the egotists and the self-possessed maniacs run around being absorbed in their games, in their ways, in their self-importance. Yeah, we'll just sit here and we'll just walk here and we'll just be here, offering one drop of beauty, one drop of this truth to the world. See what happens. That's all there is. Thanks. Bye.